All right, so let's talk about why so many people constantly fail challenges or even funded accounts, meaning they've already passed the evaluation or challenge, they've been given or rewarded with the funded account, and they blow that account within the first week or within the first 30 days by violating and not adhering to all the variety of rules out there, depending on the prop firm that you're actually using. Listen, as a trader, it's already hard enough trying to stay consistent and keep ourselves and our mind intact and trying to stay true to our own trading plan. But sometimes our trading plan will not marry up with the rules with these prop firms. Okay, that's why I feel as if you're going to trade with a prop firm, you almost have to separate yourself from your trading plan in a sense. Not 100%, but I will say this because the fact is that when you're not trading with your own money, then there are going to be things to where you may have like trailing thresh, limitations. Okay, how much money as far as drawdown that you can actually take before your account size is or account is actually placed into a failed position where they close out the account and then you have to pay more money to start over. Trading with your own personal funds, there's so many positives versus negatives. The only con to trading with your own funds is knowing that you have your own money on risk. Okay, or the fact is that you could take on risk and blow your own personal account. Meaning, but you have to understand this: if you are going to trade, you have to be aware of the risk right up front. And that's why I recommend out there to anyone watching, especially if you're interested in trading futures or any particular market, but especially futures, always start with the micro futures. But number one, before you start anything, do your research and find something or a system that's going to work for you and understand how to read the charts. And I recommend starting off with a naked chart because trust me when I say this, I had a hard time understanding market structure, and that's where I failed at because I thought I knew how to depict the direction of the market, but it wasn't really until I really started digging deep and watching video content and studying myself is really following the flow of the market, understanding what the market was really doing, meaning what did the charts look like? Were we bullish or bearish? Okay. And, I picked up on things that helped me along the way about trending markets versus shifting and reversals within the market. So all that to say, market structure is king to everything. Once you have studied that from a naked chart standpoint, and then you can start looking at price action and studying price movement, and all markets are different. That's going to help you understand which way to actually trade. Then you can, bring in the fold of a strategy. And I talk about the strategy and how I trade, which is very simple. It's not complex. But I mean, I know there's tons of strategies out there that people use. Okay. You have to find something that works for you. How I trade, the system and how I trade, it works for me. It's been working for me for years. I am, profitable in doing so. And I love trading futures. Okay, sometimes it can get boring because it seems like everything is a repetition of. But to me, I love the high of the game, trying to not say compete, but really out or psych out the component, which is the banks and institutions. I want to trade with them. You have to understand this is not a game of chess where you're trying to outsmart your opponent and then basically moving against them. You want to move with the flow of the market, okay, and understand what they're doing. And saying, hey, I'm moving with them and not trying to, do something indifferent of is what I'm trying to say. So when it comes to prop firms, people fail these all the time because they, first and foremost, aren't aware to how to trade the correct way. So if you don't know how to trade at all and you think you're just going to turn to a prop firm and try to make some quick money, which most people do, and you're going to blow your account. And I'm going to say you're going to blow that account multiple times because I've seen people blow them 10, 20, 30 times. At some point, you have to ask yourself, okay, I need to stop because when you're spending 50 here, 100 here, 30 here, 40 there, it adds up. Just think about failing 10 of those. That means that you probably if you think about 10 of them and you're spending, say, $40 a pop, $50 a pop, how much are you really spending? That could be $500 plus. And some of them it could be more depending on the size of the evaluation or challenge that you're actually going after. And I know some people will say that's better than opening up in a brokerage account and then putting a few $1,000s in there and then blowing that. Yeah, I understand that, okay? But trading with the prop firm, I believe it can help people when it comes to actually training. But I believe if you understand how to trade the correct way, you could do well with either direction, having a personal account or going through an actual prop firm. Now, the difference is that if you have a prop firm or you're trying to pass that, there's an extra layer or layers of rules that you're going to have to adhere to. You're already creating a trading plan for yourself, right? When you start to trade your own or start to trade at all, you're sticking to a rule set, but you also now you got to, conform to a set of rules with an organization and the rules that they have, like consistency rules and profitability rules. And I mean, some of them, I've seen some of them do make sense, some of them don't, but I understand the reason why, because they needed to protect themselves as well, and they don't want people just coming in and passing things in one day and then all of a sudden have to pay out that way, and then the next day you blow account. It's like they want to see consistency with traders. I understand that, and they want consistent traders as well. And it could be a good thing, but I do believe that if you really want to save yourself the headache and the money in the long run and put more money back in your pocket, trading with your own personal account is the best way to go, because then you're not paying someone, giving away 10, 20% of the earnings that you're actually making and giving it back to them. Yeah, you may say, well, they gave me the chance or offered the opportunity, but how long are you going to do that? Because if you think about the money that they're actually keeping over time, and let's say you build up an account size big enough, then they're keeping a significant amount, because it does really add up very, very quick if you understand, like I talk about when it comes to actual compounding. Again, like I said, learning how to trade from a naked chart is the best way. But, some of the reasons why people actually fail these prop firm evaluations is, first and foremost, they don't understand how to trade the correct way as it is. They don't understand market structure. They don't know how to read the actual charts. Start that way. That's why I provide so much relevant content, starting off and stressing the concept of market structure extremely, because it's extremely important. That's why if you become like an elite or an ultra elite supporter, I've said this many times in many videos, and because I really push the idea of the fact that structure is everything when it comes to trading. Now, yes, because you got to understand how to read a chart correct, like reading a book, but there are other things that you can look for as well, which I talk about, which like strategy-based things that help you once you understand how to read, okay? Prop firms aren't teaching you those type things. They're just giving you some leverage or some opportunity to be able to start with, small amounts of funds, because when you go to the prop firm, they're not giving you $25,000 or $50,000 and you're signing up and paying for these accounts, or a $150,000 account, whatever it may be. Listen, I understand that the urgency of some people wanting to try to make it big overnight or try to see if they can pass something. There's a separation there of different stuff. If you're in the business of trying to make some quick money, thinking you're going to turn to a prop firm and you don't know how to trade, you're going to blow your account. And you're going to fall in that vicious cycle again and again and again, spending money that way. Now, if you know how to trade the correct way, I would recommend starting off that way. I always tell people, structure, price action, understand, have a good system and strategy put in place, like one that I talk about here on this channel, okay? And I'll talk about it towards the latter part of the video here, if you walk through and stay with me through the video, about how you can better yourself as a trader. I really feel if you spend more time and surrounding or watching the video content surrounding the blueprint and cornerstone to how I trade. For all those that are elite or ultra elite supporters, they already know, they've watched the video content, because I provide a lot of information and dig deep into the blueprint of how I actually trade, surrounding the strategy, how I trade, that has helped, people here on this channel. Some are still with us that are part of the Discord. Some have gone. I don't, plan or expect people to stick around forever is what I'm really trying to say. But again, I have something that actually works. It's worked for me for many years. But I do know that not everything is going to work for everybody. But let's get back to what I was talking about. The reason why people fail these challenges time and time again, and they don't ever make a dime into trading, again, because they don't know how to trade the correct way first and foremost. They don't have a system put in place, okay? They're not holding themselves accountable for one. And then the flip side of that is all the rules that these prop firms have and put before you, because you have to think about it. They're in business for one thing. They want to see people fail, okay? Because the more that you're actually failing, you're coming back to the pot again. It's like, you ever been to a wishing well and you keep throwing that quarter into that well over and over and over again, or how much, regardless of how much money you put into it. In this case here, you're spending a whole lot more than that, and you keep coming back to that well, and you're thinking that you can pass it and try to make some quick money, but it never happens, right? That's how people give up on trading, okay? So they have a rule set or base to where, maybe only the top 5% of people who really know how to trade make it in the door, okay? And you're making some money for yourself, okay? Take that payout, go and open up your own personal brokerage account, and then eliminate all the rules that you have to stick with or stick by with them. Stick to your rules, all right? But if you want to keep both personal account and a funded prop firm account, nothing wrong with that. But again, those that are failing is failing because they're not consistent, All right. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have a clear strategy. They don't have a clear trading plan. They don't know the proper way to actually trade when it comes to leveraging within the market. I always tell people, if you want to start to be a beginner trader, the best thing to do today is trade the micros. Don't leverage so much. People over leverage in the market, and that's the reason why they blow their account time and time again, especially those trying to qualify to pass these challenges and evaluations, because you're already giving a limited amount as it is, whether it's $1,500, $2,500, $3,000, whatever it may be. You're not getting $25,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 account. You're getting such a small fraction of that, and a lot of them have rules that are tied to that small fraction, with like a 30% drawdown rule, which means that if you go below 30% of $1,500, you automatically fail. Automatically, okay? And then they have like a 50% profitability rule, which means that you can't go over 30% in a single day, or 50% in a single day. If so, then you've blown the account. I mean, there's a list of rules that each one of these companies, I'm sure, have in the fine print, or whether it's fine or big print, that you've got to adhere by. All right. So they want you to nickel and dime to prove consistency, which is okay. But and you can build an account like that. I talk about compounding, but at some point, the rule set in what you're going to see, if you can make money in this business, then why stick with the prop firm? Go start trading with your own money and keep every dime of it in your own pocket. But those who, think that they're just going to say, hey, I see what the market is doing, it looks bullish to me, I'm going to go start a prop firm, and then tomorrow they blow that account and then they try it again, $50 again, $20 again, whatever it may be, $100 again, over and over and over, you're blowing money that way, okay? Again, like I said this many times over, I think prop firms are a good tool to really test to see how much you do know once you do know how to actually trade and have a system in place. Again, whether it's you understanding the strategy and how I trade, or taking something you already know, you want to have something before you start opening up even a prop firm evaluation or challenge to see if you can pass it, okay? Because if you can, and you can stick to your rule set and their rule set and pass it, then you know that you're really doing something correct. I'll say that right now. But take that money that you're actually making, a percent of that, a big percent of that. Let's say that they take 10% and you keep 90%, right? Take 60%, 70%. Put it into a personal account, or at least 50% of it, and keep 30% for yourself. Because like I say, you do want to touch the money, right? But open up your own personal brokerage account. I'm just giving you guys some information, trying to be as real as possible with you about what I see and hear when it comes to people failing these prop firm challenges and never making a dime or making money from them, okay? So I'm glad you're watching this video. Hopefully it gave you some insight, whether you choose to open your own personal account or start with the prop firm. If you do, whatever which way, learn how to trade the correct way. Learn something in a system that actually works. Now, if you want to understand the blueprint and the strategy and how I trade, let me say this right now. To become an elite or an ultra elite supporter, there's a link down in the description portion of the video. If you click on that, it's titled Ultra Elite Supporter. There's a couple tiers that will pop up. Give it a couple seconds. You'll see whether you'll have the elite. To the left-hand side, it's your elite, the ultra elite. Click on each one of those, and it's going to break down and show you the perks and rewards that you receive for each tier. Like the elite supporters, they receive all my trade breakdown videos. What is that? That's where I post trades that I take over on our Discord community, right? I'll break them down. And the reason why I break them down is because I want people to understand, the premise and the idea behind each one of those trades. What was I looking for? What did I see in reference to market structure? What caused me or allowed me to execute that trade surrounding confluence? So it's a layered approach in which the way I actually trade, but the system and strategy is actually pretty simple. I'm using top-down analysis, just using a higher base chart and a lower base chart to find my entry points. That's it. But I got to get to understand the market, get the direction of the market correct, right? But you also receive the video playlist, as well as a great video that I did covering market structure for anyone who's interested in struggling with that concept. All right, it's very inexpensive. If you choose to become an ultra elite, you receive everything I just stated. Plus, additionally, you get my live recorded trading sessions as well. All right. Again, the link is down in the description. If you're interested in joining the Discord, the link is down in the description. It's the first one as well. It's free. Come over and join us on the Discord channel. Okay. That's all I have for you guys today. I just want to talk about why people fail these challenges and aren't making any money. But I'm here to tell you as well, some alternatives or where you should maybe want to start putting your position yourself in gear. If you are passing these evaluations, what you should do as far as next when it comes to making money and withdrawing, start your personal account. All right. That's all I have, guys. I appreciate you spending the time to watch today's video content. If you're not a current subscriber already, please take the time to sub by clicking the button down below and turn the post notifications on. You gotta click that bell if you want to receive the video content, because I pretty much post on a daily basis. All right, click that bell. Last but not least, if you found some value in today's discussion of what I was talking about, please make sure to drop me a like by clicking the thumbs up button. I greatly appreciate everyone supporting the channel. I'll see everyone in the next video. Today's Sunday. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my weekend, as I do. Hope you do as well. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.